Jesus Christ, really?
Don't forget to become a member of UnrealEntGaming's Patreon for exclusive manga content and early access. Isn't that right, Seth?
I already joined his Patreon today. Tons of great stuff on there, actually. But did you really have to blow up the city?
Yes.
Blew up the domino. You blew up the dominoes and you're laughing. Do you realize the f***ing crisis here?
And you will be next. Unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications right now.
Or else what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours?
Kakarot! Kakarot!
Now, although despite with the situation being as dire as it appears over within Universe 16, as long as our warriors are able to find a way to fight back, despite what Lord Pharix throws in their direction, will they only have the best shot at beating him? However, if our heroes are unable to form some sort of collective effort in being able to best Lord Pharix soon, then I'm afraid no matter what they try, and no matter how far they will try and go, will it only prove to be useless by the very end of it.
Our story continues now back within Universe 16 with God of Destruction Pharix being shown having to unleash a fury upon Ultra Ego Vegeta during the middle of their battle, as with Universe 16's Destroyer now seemingly in complete control as Vegeta was barely able to stand on his feet was when Pharix then went on to respond, "Come now, Saiyan, are your eyes beginning to finally open to the truth behind the things that I have said? For I want you to go and understand one very important lesson here, mortal, and that is despite you having to venture off where so very few would ever even dream to try and go into, the gap between simply wielding destructive power with barely any experience behind it, when compared to someone who is vastly more experienced than you while using it, is extremely vast. And while you face me alone without the aid of your allies to come help you in battle here against me," Pharix says, "you don't stand a chance and you know it, Vegeta. And guess what else, Saiyan? You will never stand a chance against the deity who is able to command the essence of destruction as naturally as he does breathing. And while I wait for you to go and continue to show me what your teacher was able to go and instill upon you, and unless you continue to try and produce for me, then I am going to continue to have my way with you until I have completely broken you in half, Vegeta. And so now hurry and go and defend Beerus' honor before I send you into a world where I guarantee that you will not be coming back from." Well now, how very interesting, Angel Riza went on to then chime in, as while I find this battle to be very intriguing, the disparity in experience between Lord Pharix and Vegeta is painfully clear, and especially with the way Lord Pharix is choosing to go about this contest that he finds himself in. However, it's this strange feeling of resilience which these Saiyans display that appears to be catching my eye the most, especially with Vegeta. For very rarely have I ever seen a mortal endure such a relentless onslaught by a god of destruction and still stand defiant, which only now leaves me to wonder more about them, for I question on if these mortals were to be given more time to grow and evolve, then the question becomes how far would they be able to truly be shown taking themselves if this was how far they were able to make it all on their own within such a short amount of time in doing so. But even then, aside from these two, I wonder on where the other is, for it's been quite some time since we've last seen him here before he was shown being thrown within that tomb, and so now I wonder if he's ever coming back like Vegeta was shown having to do so, or if he'll truly be lost within the Window Realm for all of eternity, because while Broly struggles to break free and thus leaving Vegeta all on his own out there, and I'm afraid they won't last much longer unless something were to change, but let's just wait and see what comes out of this entire ordeal as it does. To which even then, with Pharix shown having to beat Vegeta down, with Vegeta's resilience being shown having to keep him within this fight was when Pharix then went on to continue, "Oh, come on, mortal, where did all of that fire just go? As here you said that you'd be the one that would go and show me on what true destruction feels like, did you not? Well, where is it? Cause I'm still waiting, Saiyan." And while I understand and see why Beerus would go and choose you of all mortals to guide and teach the ways of learning how to use a power similar to that of our own, all you've proven to me upon engaging with you is how much you still have to learn before you can truly call yourself a master of destruction, Vegeta. And here I can't believe that you were somehow able to get the better and outsmart Lord Cobras when you did. For this is just pitiful, and here you said that I was going to know what it felt like to lose by the hands of a Saiyan elite such as yourself. Why, you, mark my words, Destroyer, you haven't beaten me yet, Vegeta responds, and as long as I still have some fight that's left within me, then you will never be able to take away what keeps me strong. Hakai. But then, it was only just before Vegeta even had the opportunity to utter the words Hakai was when Pharix was shown having to kick Vegeta's hand away by then responding, "Oh no you don't. What do you think this is, Saiyan? Do you really take me for a fool here or what? Did you honestly think that by trying to erase me was actually going to work, mortal? For the act of erasure goes far beyond your simple understanding of assuming that you could use this on a god and actually think that it would work in your favor, Vegeta. And for you to dare raise your hand at me the way you did will cost you dearly. For no mortal, no matter how mighty they claim to be, would I ever go and allow for them to do onto me as I will do onto you, Vegeta. And while I can now see on why Beerus had taken you under his wing and had trained you to wield our power, I will go and further remind him that despite taking up a Saiyan as being his student, even his so-called best destroyer-wielding fighter was no match for the likes of me. And so now do yourself a favor and don't move so that I can go and show you on how it's really done. Yes, it was a pleasure, Vegeta. But then, it was only just now suddenly from behind Pharix as a giant noise was then shown having to emanate throughout the entire desert was when Pharix then went on to further question, what was that just now? Surely that couldn't have been Broly since he's, wait a second, is it? To which lo and behold now from out of nowhere as Broly was shown sinking on under beneath the sands above the grounds as a giant shadow was then shown zipping right by was where from out of nowhere that was when Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku had now finally made his way back and kicking Pharix in the face with Angel Rizal responding, "Ah, but of course, for I was starting to wonder on what had been taking that Saiyan so long to find his way back out, as I already had assumed that he went and failed within that realm, but given how both he and Vegeta are now reunited, I'm starting to wonder on how they will go about this, and especially given how Lord Pharix appears to be outnumbered but by no means outclassed or outpowered, since I do believe that Lord Pharix still holds the upper hand here. And so now that the Saiyan was able to find his way back to Lord Pharix, I do believe it's time that we go and find out on just how good he truly is, and especially when considering his accolades and skills after being trained by my brother Whis, as Pharix went on to then stand back up by then responding, "So, you were finally able to go and find your way back out of my window realm after all, now were you? Well, it took you long enough, and here I was beginning to doubt that you'd ever go and show your face around here ever again. But would you go and take a look at that, for I guess I was wrong to have doubted you after all," with Goku being shown turning his head by then responding, "Hey, sorry that I wasn't able to make it back here a little sooner than I did, but are you alright, Vegeta? And just what in the world did he go and do to your arm? And where's Broly?" with Vegeta responding, "Well, it took you long enough, you idiot. But he went and turned parts of my arm to stone by using those wraps that cover his entire body, Kakarot. And so you've got to be careful when fighting him, and while Broly has been trying to jump in and get up close within the action against this destroyer, it only turns out that Lord Pharix continued to bury him beneath the sands above, and further keeping him away while deeming him unfit while solely taking action against me as he looks to only be interested in battling the two of us more than anything." "I see. Well, so then I'll go and take it from here since I'm fresh," Goku Goku responds. So in the meantime, you try and go and gather yourself together while I hold him off in the meantime, while also trying to look for a way to go and bring him down, okay? And so alright now, Lord Pharix, I'll be your next opponent from here on, Goku responds. So whatever it was that you wanted to go and get out of Vegeta just now, you can go and try to come and get it out of me now instead, Goku says. And while I understand that you aren't going to be as easy to go and take down as I'd hope, whatever it is that you're planning on trying to go and have us prove here against you will ultimately be what results in your downfall against us. And so I'm ready, with Pharix questioning, oh really? Well, I must say that witnessing your Ultra Instinct in action like this is quite the revelation, for it is a very rare sight to watch a mortal be taken under the wing of an angel and for them to be trained to wield such power. But I hope you know that just like your ally Vegeta, no matter how sure you think that you are and no matter how good you assume yourself to be, you will never be able to find a way to defeat me as you are, and you never will, Pharix says. But I do, however, encourage you to come and try, just as Vegeta did, so that I may go and make an example out of you, just like I had done with him, mortal. With Goku then being shown launching invisible strikes by then responding, well then how about I go and show you on why it's wrong for you destroyers to go and assume that we mortals simply aren't worthy of being on your level when we are, as I'll see to it that you learn of that the hard way. To which, as Pharix was then shown dodging all of Goku's attacks, was when Pharix then went on to respond, oh, so you think putting faith in your nature as being a mortal who was chosen to be trained by an angel will help you now, do you? Well, you fight like a younger man with nothing held back, son Goku, and while admirable, I can now begin to see that this will be your greatest downfall here against me, because speed will not be all that you will need to use here against me that will save you. And because I can already see on how this is going to go, Pharix continues, I just want you to know that no matter what you think you can try and do against the god of destruction of my experience and stature, you, just like Vegeta, will crumble. Darn, so you're a lot faster than I assumed that you'd be, huh? Goku questions. Well, fine, because if this is what I'm in for here against you, then I'll just have to move even faster than you can react and prove you wrong then, Lord Pharix, and so I'm ready. And so now why don't you come and show me as to what you're made of, and I'll go and respond to your every move in ways which will turn you into a believer, Goku says. To which even then, in the meantime, as this was all shown happening within Universe 16, when then venturing back on over inside of Universe 7, was where we only then observe as to how Whis was shown waiting for his brother upon Beerus being shown talking to Gohan, was when Beerus then went on to respond, say, you look a little nervous here. Don't tell me that you're getting cold feet on me after having to be told that you'll be coming to train with me now, are you? Because for a mortal whom was never shown having to train with either myself or Whis before, I'm more than interested to see on what your newly developed power is really made of, and so do you think you're up for it? With Gohan responding, well, I mean, I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't a little concerned with how this was going to go, but I wasn't going to suggest that I don't want to train with you either, Lord Beerus, but it's just, well, being that we're going to be guided by another angel to train, I just can't help but wonder on how all of this is going to go once we start to train far more seriously, with Whis then having to chime in, ah yes, and just in time to join in on all of the fun as well, for I haven't been this excited to see my brother Avalco train anyone in a very long time, let alone it having to be a mortal and the god of destruction shown having to train together side by side like this. But of course, nevertheless, it looks as though my brother is just about finally having to arrive, Whis says. To which all of a sudden, from out of nowhere within that moment next to Whis, as a giant light source was beginning to emanate and having to touch down, was when Beerus then went on to chime back in, you know, for an angel with many brothers and sisters, I find it rather odd for you to have not spoken to this particular sibling of yours longer than any other, and so now why is that? With Whis then responding, well, that's because this particular brother of mine mainly specializes in training other angels who are rookies prior to being sent off by the Grand Priest to learn of the ways of good and evil, in only being sent out to be able to understand the difference between the two, of course similar to that of my younger brother Maris, and so I don't really get to see this brother of mine often actually, but nevertheless, thus now, here he comes, and with purpose too, with Gohan then questioning, wait, really? Wait, and so this angel brother of yours is mainly in charge of training the other rookie angels and getting them ready for the outside world? Well, gosh, this brother of yours sounds like he's pretty intense then when compared to some of your other siblings then, Whis. And so, like, are we going to be training here on Lord Beerus' world, or with Beerus quickly responding, well, either way, this aura I'm sensing coming from him feels rather familiar. And almost like I remember him from a very long time ago, and if this is who I think it is, Beerus continues, then that'll surely go and explain everything. But no, we are more than likely not going to be training here on my world because I don't want to run the risk of destroying this place in the process of us having to undergo this training cycle, and so we will see. To where even then, moments later, as Whis' brother was now shown having to touch down in showing himself in arriving on Beerus' planet, was when Whis then went on to continue, well, either way, Lord Beerus, Gohan, allow me the honor of introducing my esteemed brother Valko. As not only is he a formidable angelic training commander who is very revered across the cosmos for his rigorous training regimens and methods of training, but he also possesses the unique gift of discerning an individual's potential with just a mere glance into their eyes. As under his guidance, every young rookie angel that he had ever taken under his wing has reached unprecedented heights, in further boasting a 100% graduation and success rate, for his insight into potential is unparalleled as it is unique, and especially given his methods in training those who decide to want to go and take under him to go off and learn and train, as Whis went on to then wave by continuing, which, speaking of, greetings Valko, for I can see that you still appear to be doing quite well for yourself, and as I want to go and extend my gratitude in thanking you very much for being here with us and helping me on this matter, with Valko having to respond, you know, summoning me across the cosmos is no small affair, Whis, and especially since it's been a very long time since you and I have last seen one another, and so this better be important. So now, who was it that you have called me here to have train under me? Where are they now? With Whis pointing out, well, I wouldn't want you to travel all this way for nothing now, would I? But nevertheless, they are right over there, as a matter of fact, a destroyer and a mortal. Which to that we have Universe 7's God of Destruction, Lord Beerus, whom you've already know, of course, and a rather new guest of ours here on Beerus' world, a Saiyan half-breed who goes by the name Gohan, with Valko responding, a destroyer god and a mortal Saiyan, huh? Interesting. Now, even though I will admit and say that while being summoned by my brother here to aid you in your training was not something that I had anticipated, especially to see that I'll be going out of my way to go and train both a god of destruction and a mortal of all beings, nonetheless, here we are, and I want you both to go and understand this, for my intervention will not be a shortcut to greater power, for the path that I will lay down before you both will be filled with challenges that are designed to test your limits and go beyond, as I am only here to ensure that your potential is not just reached, but exceeded in far more ways than just one, as I also happen to see that you are both holding something back which you have yet to come to terms with yourselves. And so in the meantime, I am hereby now in charge of everything that happens moving forward, Valko continues, as you will both follow my every command, or I will send you back to where you came from and ban you from ever being trained by an outside angel ever again. And so now let that be a warning to you both that I will not tolerate quitters or crybabies either. And so now that I have made myself perfectly clear to the both of you, it's time that you all come and follow me, for our training will not be taking place here, but will rather take place within my domain. And so you will both be coming with me, for I will set the course of your training with me to about 5 hours with only 2 water breaks in between, Valko continues, which that also includes no meals, no timeouts, and no bathroom breaks either, for if you feel the need to vomit, then vomit where you are and jump back into your training. And if you end up defecating yourselves, then that's on you as well, so it's like I said, no breaks and no slacking off, got it? Now let's move, with Whis having to turn back by then responding, well, this should be rather fun now, wouldn't you both agree? So come along now, for we don't want to keep my brother waiting. Well, my brother really isn't a fan of waiting or not being able to take things as seriously as they should be taken, and so it's best if we all just leave with him now and go about our merry way, with Gohan then questioning, wait, hold on, is he serious? 5 straight hours with no breaks in between whatsoever? And that includes no food or even being able to use the bathroom? With Beerus then responding, oh well, what's wrong? Getting cold feet on me already? saying? Well, suck it up and let's move. As you and I both know that you'll be fine, and so now try not to think about it while we go and train with him. And so now hurry it up and let's go get a move on, so that way we can go and be done with this. With Gohan then responding, oh man, well I guess this is the price that I have to pay for agreeing to go and do this. Well, I guess I have no other choice, and so I hope it proves to be rewarding and pays off in the end then, as it was only right then and there now, during that moment, where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super story of the Resurrected Fallen Gods of Destruction, the Universe 16 Saga, Manga Chapter number 5 special, then comes to a close.
Actually, I'll go and take it from here, as I do want to go as far as to address something with all of our dear viewers at the moment. As before I go and give you the following information, if you aren't already a member of Unreal's Patreon community, then you are truly missing out on so much without you even knowing. As not only is the next episode already on the page, but if you want to support all of the content that you see and gain access to tons of exclusives along the way, then we do encourage for you all to become members of our Patreon community today, for we will link it all down in the description box below and pinned comment section. Now, I will go as far as to say that even though I am quite surprised to see Goku step in the way he did and attempt to square off against Lord Pharix, if there's one thing that Goku must be extremely cautious about when dealing with Lord Pharix, is understanding the fact that he is unlike any of the other gods of destruction that he's faced off against before, and unless he could somehow find a way to pull off a victory against him soon, then I'm afraid even Goku will stand no chance at beating him, and so you do not want to miss out on what is about to happen coming up next. So we hope that you all enjoyed today's video, as before you leave, do make sure to give this video a thumbs up by smashing that like button on your way out, as well as subscribing to UnrealEntGaming's channel in case you are new around here. We thank you all for watching and hope you all have a wonderful day, everyone, as we'll see you all in the next one.
Hello! Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to UnrealEntGaming?
Also, don't forget to follow on these social media platforms, you sexy son of a bitch.
Roshi!
Silent Cell, me and the fans are having a moment. That's right. I know what you want. Extra long, thick Dragon Ball content. Quality reviews with flawless editing. Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? You dirty bitch.
Roshi, the fuck?
God damn it, I need them to subscribe, Cell.
And we're demonetized.
Yeah, screw it. Let's cut to the video.